You know, the one where she spills the tea on that legendary slap Will Smith doled out to Chris Rock at the Oscars. In a real sense, that second is scratched in our recollections, like an extraordinary tattoo now. When we rewind the reel on this entire show, it resembles a thrill ride of motivations behind for what reason Will Smith went full mass mode, leading it's an obvious fact their relationship had been better. And we should not fail to remember that Chris Rock simmered his better half. Harking back to the 2016 Oscars discourse, Jayla boycotting Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's undies. I wasn't welcomed, yet clutch your caps, since there's additional Individuals magazine just dropped a little sensation after their visit with Jada. What might it at some point be all of us, our ears Jada Pinkett Smith as of late, has gotten serious about the provokes in her union with Will Smith in a secret for a forthcoming NBC News. And Today show exceptional associated with her impending journal commendable. The Set It Off entertainer unveiled that she and Will Smith have been residing independently starting around 2016, even despite the fact that they keep on showing up as a brought-together couple in broad daylight from the year 2016, which is quite a while back now. Yes, they all have been. I made a commitment that there won't ever be an explanation. The hypotheses started to escalate in 2016. Because of a notable occurrence during the Oscars in that year, Chris Rock broadly broiled Jada Pinkett Smith in his speech. As per Rock, Jada had moved toward him to step down from facilitating the Oscars that year on the grounds that since her better half, Will Smith had not gotten a Best Entertainer designation for his job in the film Blackout. Both Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith decided to blacklist the service alongside numerous other unmistakable figures in Hollywood because of the apparent absence of variety in the selections, which had ignited the viral #Oscar. So white anyway, Rock dismissed Jada's solicitation. And keeping in mind that facilitating the Oscars made a joke to her detriment, tending to her blacklist of the function, he said Jada Pinkett Smith boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's underwear. I wasn't welcomed, he additionally said. Not fair Will was this great and didn't get selected. Likewise, not fair Will was paid $120 AMR for Wild West anyway. Jada had another thing to tell. Jada clarified that the 2016 Oscars episode was settled through a shared statement of regret during a call. As per her, she later understood the enormous tension Chris Rock probably been under. She was not actually perceiving the degree of strain Chris could have been under at the time. I presumably ought to have called him and gone, "Hello, are you okay?" And know that in spite of the fact that I'm standing in opposition to the Oscars, I truly do hope everything turns out great for you. And I simply maintain that you should realize that me requiring some investment to have called him and said that just to contact Bass, yet his sentiments could have been harmed. Pinkett Smith expressed that after the 2016 Oscars, joke Rock apologized. And I was sorry to him too, so I truly felt that we were great, that the axe was covered among us. And we hadn't talked from that point forward until 2022 came. Pinkett Smith guaranteed she likewise got a conciliatory sentiment from Rock after the 2022 Oscars quarrel. For what reason do I know such a great amount about these individuals' marriage? I sort of feel, like in a real sense, I sort of feel like I find out about their marriage than I am familiar with my own damn marriage. After their underlying fracture, Jada and Chris worked it out during the call, and Jada accepted the matter was settled at this point. Following the 2016 Oscars occurrence, bits of gossip about Jada and Will Smith's potential separation started circulating. In a surprising development, Chris Rock purportedly asked Jada out on the town. This wind in the story reveals new insight into Chris Rock's joke at the 2022 Oscars. Apparently his humor might have been affected by the dismissal he encountered and any subsequent profound misery. I think not being prepared at this point, actually attempting to sort out among us. Definitely, she imparted this disclosure to individuals, accepting that the circumstance had been settled. At that point, she portrayed how each late spring reports would flow about her. And Will Smith getting a separation, she said each mid-year, every one of the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a separation during one specific summer. Chris Rock expected that they were for sure separating and chosen to contact her. He communicated his premium in taking her out, Jada reviewed. And this specific summer, Chris Rock, he felt that we were getting a separation, so he called me. And fundamentally, he resembled I'd very much want to take you out, to which Jada answered with disarray, asking what do you mean. Chris made sense of aren't you and Will getting a separation. Jada explained that these were reports, and there were no separation plans. Chris was shocked by the misconception and lavishly apologized anyway. In that very year, Jada and Will were not dwelling together. And this disclosure has as of late become exposed, as Jada herself has transparently examined it, energizing the developing hypothesis that she and Chris were associated with something during that period. Was that in 2016 you and Will concluded that you planned to carry on with totally different lives. It was by her she and her better half. Will Smith have been carrying on with totally different existences beginning around 2016. As uncovered in a meeting with Hodak Kappa, this high-profile Hollywood couple, who tied the gesture in 1997, have recently recognized their times of division and conjugal difficulties, yet never in such unequivocal terms. While it's anything but a proper separation, Pinkett Smith made sense of to buy in a video piece delivered on Today, that it basically looks like a separation in everything except the legitimate desk work. It was anything but a separation on paper, yet it was a separation, have Hoda Bed said, which Pinkett Smith affirmed she likewise uncovered. They live independently. Pinkett Smith made sense of why the two never officially declared a partition. I think not being prepared at this point, actually attempting to sort out among us how to be an organization right, and concerning how we present that to individuals, And we hadn't sorted that out. Now, fans have quickly rushed to make the judgment call that her detachment from Will was connected to her cozy relationship with Chris, given that she evidently settled the issue with a straightforward call. One individual composed kindly, don't focus on others as overthrows objectives. You don't have the foggiest idea why they got together. You don't have the foggiest idea what they go through. You don't have the foggiest idea why they left center around being sound and having solid connections for yourself. Another additional, this is straight up misuse. She gets off on hauling Will's name through the mud and won't let him be. It's truly sickening. She is so shrewd. Many individuals have an adequate number of motivations to mark Jada as disputable because of the discernment that she has openly embarrassed Will in the past. This isn't whenever she first has been associated with an embarrassment. One of the most generally plugged occurrences in Jada and Will's marriage is her relationship with the vocalist August Alina. Jada recognized that this relationship occurred during when she and Will were isolated, which exposed a profoundly open and examined section in their marriage. It's a circumstance that I consider private. You feel like it ain't actually. No one transport, no doubt, except for now dark Twitter has guaranteed it. Moreover, she uncovered that which began as a fellowship and a joint family work to help August Alina with his well-being roughly a long time back, in the end formed into what she named an extraordinary sort of ensnarement. This change in their relationship occurred during when both she and Will accepted their marriage was approaching its decision. Not just this, you and I were going through an undeniably challenging time, no doubt, and we concluded I was finished with your butt. Better believe it, you kicked me to the mongrel. I was finished with you. Tupac's name in her new book is additionally raising a few hypotheses in regards to her relationship with him. It appears to be that Jada is focused on offering her own experiences into her life, enveloping her associations with both Will and Tupac, as well as digging into her marriage with Will. The impending book will put areas of strength for and on her significant fondness for Tupac. Eyewitnesses have noticed that Jada has habitually decided to examine her earlier connections, regardless of whether they were actual, which has prompted snapshots of distress for Will and set their relationship at the center of attention, I got into an alternate sort of snare. With August, apparently, Jada's relationship with Will isn't just stress during meetings and public appearances, yet additionally in their general cooperations, proposing a not exactly lovely dynamic between them individuals have proposed that regardless of being hitched to one for a long time, Jada has ever relinquished her security with Tupac. While plainly Jada and Tupac were dear companions, her demeanors and opinions towards Tupac seem, by all accounts, to be strikingly unique. When contrasted with how she examines her better half, well, this dynamic has driven some to contemplate whether Jada's heart actually holds a profound association with Tupac, as though she were hitched to him all through these years. Making Will continually fight with the presence of this profound phantom. What stays a baffling inquiry for some is the reason Jetta Furley accepts that there is nobody very like Tack she characterized.